Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Tarot by Cecilia on Patreon. This is your September tarot guidance for your sign. I'm going to ask you, how you doing with this eclipse season so far? It's interesting, isn't it? See what's going on. Now let's talk about September for a minute here before we get started. The month kicks off on the 1st with a new moon in Virgo. It's also an annular solar eclipse. It's the second eclipse of this eclipse season. And I think it brings with it some interesting things. On the 9th, Jupiter enters Libra, where it will stay until October 10th, 2017. That will bring focus to a different area in your chart where you will be receiving help from Jupiter. On the 10th, our final square, Saturn square Neptune. I'm calling this one the, reality versus fantasy clash. Yeah, and I get a feeling you're going to feel this in a big way. But then it'll be done and it'll be over. And hopefully it will be helpful. Okay, so keep that in mind. Yeah, this is this mid-month thing is big for you here. On the 16th, there's a full moon in your sign. It's a penumbral lunar eclipse. Yeah, okay, so this is the last one for this particular eclipse season. And I have to say this to you, Pisces. You remember last year, you have to remember last year, when there was an eclipse in your sign and it fell at the very last degree. Something in your life just hit a huge brick wall. It was more like the universe just stepped out in front of you and said, no, you cannot do this anymore. And you have been, since then, trying to figure out what it was you were supposed to do with your life. I think this full moon brings with it a great deal between this and the square, the clarity that you need to get things done. So let's hope so, okay? Now, on the 22nd, this is a really big day, and I like this day in particular. Not so much the day itself, but more like the time that follows it. Mercury will go direct after having been retrograde since August the 30th. It will be the fall-spring equinox, and that depends upon in which hemisphere you live, which season you'll be experiencing. And what I've been saying to the other signs as well is that I feel the seasonal changes very strongly. And I urge you to pay attention, because when the seasons change, the energies do shift. It's not just about the type of weather that you're experiencing at the time. It's also the climate. Yeah, the climate of the energy, I should say, and what's going on. Also on that day, the sun will enter Libra. And on the 23rd, Venus will be leaving Libra and entering Scorpio. Yeah, it loved being in Libra. But I think Scorpio tends to highlight the flaws in things. And maybe that's a good thing. It might be, because sometimes we need to be shown where we may be going wrong with love, finance, business, any personal habits, whatever in that area. So it'll be interesting, but it won't last forever. On the 26th, Pluto goes direct after having been retrograde for 5 months. Not such a big deal. It does it every year. So unless you have any really strong influence of Pluto, you may not even notice the change that much. It's not like you're going to jump out of bed and say, oh, thank goodness Pluto's direct. On the 27th, though, however, you may be saying hallelujah. Mars will enter Capricorn, and it's a good place for it to be. I'm really liking it being here as opposed to all the time that it's spent in Sagittarius and Scorpio. And while Scorpio, is its sign, as like it was not so kind during the whole retrograde and the shadow and things that were happening of that nature. So that was not fun. And this finally, I think, really I kind of think puts the icing on the cake with the energies and getting you to a different spot. So this is good. The month ends with a bonus new moon, which will be in Libra, and I think it gives a very special air to the month. Now, let's talk about the cards that we see here, Pisces. Are you feeling as though that you are now well versed in the art of patience and maybe even getting a little bit tired of it? Still working very, very hard, but like, all right, come on now, come on now. I want that new beginning. You know what? It's like right here. It's ready for you. I think that it's there, and it's almost that you're just like too much anxiety associated with it for you. Now, I still have this feeling for most people, but for some reason it feels stronger with you that first 3 weeks of the month until you get to the equinox, where there's a better change that takes place there. But I do think that something positive happens for you around the new moon, which heralds change. That there's change coming, and you kind of feel like you can breathe a little bit. It has a lot of positivity associated with it. So that even though you're still feeling some form of anxiety over something, you're saying, all right, universe, I'm with you. I have faith in you. and you're feeling generally good about things, but probably not sleeping well. So it's like a mixed bag. You know what I'm saying? You're wondering, is positive change too good to be true? Yeah, it's a whole up and down thing for you. It's like finally maybe something's coming your way and you're like, I don't know. Is it really going to pan out? Is it really going to come through? I do think so, indeed. Now, not everything in your life is just yours. I don't know if that makes sense. But you also have people about whom you care. And, you want to see changes for them as well. So that's very commendable of you that you think that. I don't remember mentioning that to anyone else. But, it's like finally those rewards are coming your way, the other person's way, and finally there's an offer. And the offer, that just gave me weird chills, like a breeze hit the back of my neck. Um, that comes in, and it brings in the light. So here's the old, the new, that juggling everything a little bit. And the rewards bring in a good sense of, I want to say, security around the home. There's also, like, I feel like something is being, this is, bear with me. All right. It's many things for many people. Some of you, it involves like a sale of property, a home, or buying a home, some sort of financial security that's involved that gives you more money to hold on to. So I'm finding that very interesting. There's a great deal here, but I also feel that there's things tied up in this that are for more than one person. Overall, I think it's a successful thing, but we're talking about somewhere in your life, Pisces, there are legal matters, whether they're yours or they belong to someone very close to you. And I got a little sense of, when I was putting the cards down, that if you have any sort of legal challenges that you've been standing your ground trying to get them done, that you kind of feel not depleted financially in resources, but that you're thinking your financial picture is turned around. So is that a good thing, or is that a bad thing? You see what I'm saying? And I'm sure that out there, with all of the Pisces that there are, it can go both ways. But there's definitely some form of a generous offer coming in that brings in change and rebirth. It's, like I said, it's not just you, it's you and it's others. But I also feel that there's positive things coming in for you. Could come in the form of a raise at work. Something's happening. Okay, something's happening. There's also this, for some of you, not all of you, giving thought to home. Okay, and asking yourself, is this where I need to be? See, I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think that there's anybody saying, okay, you have to leave your home. But you may be thinking to yourself, the time has come and this is not my happy place. Like, this doesn't feel like where I need to be. And so, maybe in the past it was good, but I need something that just makes me feel bright and positive and sunny and joyful. All right? Because there's something about, not for every Pisces, but for some, that feels like it is just like you're getting by there. Like you feel a little cheated with wherever you've been living. That's an interesting thing, indeed. Now, repair mode for the last 5 years. I kind of think that when you get to that new moon at the end of September, you're finally saying to yourself, let me get a plan together. Let me look over not so much my losses, but what do I have left to work with? And it's kind of like, voila, right? What are you going to do? It's a big, big change for you. That's what I said. I kind of think that many of you are going to suddenly say, I think I need to move somewhere. And it doesn't mean you're going to move right that moment or put your house up for sale that moment. But these are definitely thoughts that are taking place in the month of September. Saying that whatever it is you're doing, and I feel like it's home related, not work related. Although for some of you it could be. It's that I have outlived my time here. And there's nothing bad about it. And this is, some of this is taking place between, I want to say, like the full moon and the equinox. Like all of a sudden you're having all of these thoughts. Okay? As I said, you're spending a lot of nights not sleeping. So good stuff is happening. And it's just kind of like, and you're just like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. But it changes. And then, you start looking at your life and how much you have survived. And most of you are comfortable, trying to remain down to earth. Maybe needing to turn your back on a few financial habits. See, there's all kinds of them, right? It could be anything. It could be excessive takeout food instead of cooking dinner. It could be smoking. It could be going to the bar. Things that cost you extra money. So there's this whole, like, what do I choose? What do I do? I'm telling you that, like, when you get to that tail end of the month, there's a lot of thought going on and the choices. And you're trying to choose by the time you get to that new moon. I don't think that it's a rush that you have to choose. But you want to just be, like, I want to say, cut away some of the responsibility, the things that are weighing you down, which is probably why you're looking at what can you do? What can you do to lighten the load, Pisces, right? Is there anything in life, you know what I'm saying? Go to the store, buy food, go home, make yourself some dinner, not be in the restaurant. What other things do people do? Go to the movies, go to the bars, go to the mall. I don't really know. But it's that sense of, in order to stand on your own 2 feet, after all the sacrificing you've done for like the last 5 years, you know that in order for that to end and in order for there to be a future, that the time has come to make some changes in how you live your life. So I'm like, okay. I mean, that's all commendable. And I think that overall, we really all have these things going on. Like everybody has something that we should be changing, how we do, how we react, and what would we do during our normal course of a day. This feels like regular stuff, like your routine and how you would do it. And I'm not talking about work routine or anything like that. I'm talking about the personal stuff. and reassessing what it takes to get by. And part of it is living arrangements. Like I said, I don't know that you necessarily, up and list your house for sale before the end of September. It's not like that, but there's definitely a lot of thought that goes into it. There's also this whole legal buying and selling of property going on, which may or may not include you, but it's around you. So that's important. That's really important. Now, you also have a lot of details to work out. And this is with everything, but I feel like there's been whatever matter you've been working on. So let's say it's about the old stuff, okay? And you have to work out those details, like get it all nailed down, get it all right. Because once you do, it's like the world opens up for you. It's an amazing thing. But it's also in here with the whole looking at the financial picture, and, your view really changes by the end of September of how you look at the things and how you lead your life, which is amazing. But I don't think there was any other way for you to get through this month, Pisces, to be honest with you. It's like the time has come, for all of this to change, to head toward the future, to head toward that new life. And, there's a sense of, I want to call it bittersweet, okay? Because, it was a hard-fought battle for a number of years. But it's like, bye-bye, all right? And giving up the struggles. I think a little bit tired from all of the struggles as well. And this is, see, what I'm seeing for you is that you start to reassess your goals in life. Like really thinking about them. Like, okay, I've cleared all this away. What can I do for change in my life? How can I proceed? What should my new goals be? What will make me more stable? That's interesting. I'm putting more cards down. I want to put them where I want to put them, okay? Because I want to see what it all means. Yeah. And see, when you have that bittersweet moment that you're like done with something and it's like, okay, the battle's over. It's like, look up, because in the horizon, here comes something that you need, something that you want. I do, man, I get chills. Pisces, it's like a wish. Whatever it is, do not resist the change that is coming this month, the anxiety that's involved with it. That's why I said, when you get to the end of the month, you're tired, but you're also back in control. And I feel like, see, I kept saying in the beginning, there's someone else. There's other people around you who were affected, but what happened with them is important to you. So it's like, I'm going to say justice for all. What is the saying? I guess I feel like I want to say the Three Musketeers. This is important. I don't know why I have to say it that way. There's I want to say more generosity in commitments and much more freedom coming. And then you're ready to go. You're ready to go. You finish up what you have to finish up, and you're going to be moving right along. I'm thinking this is really a pretty good month. It's not going backward, but there's a lot of thought. There is a lot of anxiety, because I think it's that anticipatory anxiety. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, change is coming. Like, change is really going to happen. And it starts right smack off the bat with that new moon. And you've been patient for so long, and all of a sudden it's coming in. So you start the month by, I want to say, putting one issue to rest. And then things just keep going. But it's not just you, it's around you, it's people you care about. But do it, and then it's like it's out there. And for some of you, what is that wish? emotional fulfillment. There's something that it's like the universe is finally going to release it and let it start to come your way. So get past that bittersweet moment, Pisces, and enjoy what's coming. And I'll see you here again next month, and we'll talk about October. And don't forget to check out all the other videos that are available. Take care.